This is Mac OS Ken.
Citi's got a new guy following Apple. Apple Pay's had a strong start in South Korea, and a surprising sales move for Apple in China. It is Friday, the 30th of June, 2023. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp. Online therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by Issue, the all-in-one platform to create and distribute beautiful digital content. Are the digital publications you're putting out kind of stuck in a rut? Give them new life with Issue. Catalogs, newsletters, magazines. Issue lets you turn those into interactive digital publications and social posts for everyone and across a number of platforms. Embed the content on your site, convert it into easy-to-read articles for mobile, send it out to your mailing list, reach your audience on the socials. With Issue, you can create once and share everywhere. And here's another great thing. Issue helps you hit the platforms you're trying to reach with the tools you're already using, folding seamlessly with Dropbox, MailChimp, InDesign, and others. Get started with Issue today for free, or sign up for an annual premium account and get 50% off when you go to issue.com/podcast and use promo code MacOSKen. That's ISSUU.com/podcast and use promo code MacOSKen at checkout for your free starter account or 50% off an annual premium account. That's issue.com/podcast with promo code MacOSKen. Looks like Citi has a new analyst following Apple, and they arrive super bullish. Gentleman Jim Suva had been on Apple for the research firm, though that appears to be done. On Thursday, a piece from MarketWatch had Citi research analyst Atif Malik initiating his coverage of the Cupertino company, and boy is he stoked. He's impressed with Apple's ability to expand margins by shifting sales to the high end. Think iPhone 14 Pro versus iPhone 14. He's turned on by customer attraction to higher configuration devices. He likes the money Apple saves by building devices on its own custom chips. And he is into the number of people switching from Android to iPhone. Moreover, his note says, Apple's growing higher margin services sales mix should help expand the overall corporate gross margins. He likes what he sees for Apple in India. Not only will the company's 2 new retail stores in the country let customers there experience the Apple brand, they'll also let Apple experience the Indian customers, or enhance Apple's understanding of the market, as the piece puts it. Malik notes room for growth in other emerging markets as well, with shout-outs to Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE. Interestingly, not driving huge expectations for the analyst are Apple Vision Pro and whatever Apple does in autos. On the mixed reality device, Malik says we don't expect the headset to be a key driver to Apple's total sales in the near term, as it will only be available in early 2024, and we expect only 150,000 to 200,000 units for the first couple of years. While he does think Apple will do something on the road, the questions are what and when. What he'd like to see is tighter integration with existing automakers. Something deeper than the current CarPlay ties would be Apple's best car solution, in Malik's estimation. And with that, his Apple watching engine is revved. Malik initiates his coverage of Apple with a buy rating. His 12-month price target on the shares is $240. Apple Pay seems to have had an impressive start in South Korea. The sites Apple MOSK and Korea BizWire have Apple's South Korean payments partner, Hyundai Card, spilling the beans on early adoption. According to the sites, Apple's contactless payment solution has seen 25.8 million transactions with Hyundai Card since the service went live in the middle of March. One of the anticipated stumbling blocks before the service launched in South Korea was the perceived lack of NFC terminals to support it. That is a void that is apparently being filled. According to Apple MOSK, just 60,000 to 70,000 of 2.9 million stores in Korea had installed the necessary equipment before Apple Pay went live. Since the middle of March, Hyundai Card says the number of stores with compatible NFC terminals is up to 108,000. That's close to 40 or 50,000 installs in just over 3 months' time. According to Hyundai Card, an increasing number of small businesses are voluntarily adopting Apple Pay. And buyers seem to be showing up for it. Korea Business Wire says a reported 93% of Apple Pay payments were made offline, in other words, made in stores. A significant majority of the stores taking Apple Pay, 77% or 83,000 of them, were small businesses earning less than $2.28 million US per year. More users, more terminals. Looks like more financial partners may soon follow. Apple MOSK cites a Korea Herald report indicating that 3 other major local card issuers now want to support the payment service. According to that report, they may come online with Apple Pay in September or October. A fascinating / terrifying story about Apple, and let me stop me right there. When I say terrifying, I mean in a dystopian television landscape kind of way, not a people are going to die kind. 9 to 5 Mac highlights a Reuters report that says Apple is doing the home shopping streaming thing in China. I will confess, when I think of home shopping streaming, well, I'm not thinking Apple. The way 9 to 5 Mac describes it, live streaming is a popular way for Chinese brands to promote themselves, but most of it is every bit as tacky as TV shopping channels, making it all the more surprising that Apple would join in. But, as with so many things, Apple is doing it differently, and other brands may follow suit. While most of China's e-commerce live streams either rely on big discounts or celebrity hosts to pull in viewers and buyers, Apple is simply showing off its products and how to use them. And it seems to be working. According to Reuters, Apple's show, hosted by product experts offering tips on making movies with iPhones or using the Apple Watch as a workout aid, drew 300,000 likes and more than 1.3 million viewers within an hour in May. The piece says Apple's success is indicative of the way live streaming is evolving in China. As the head of one beauty retailer describes it, you have to move toward content instead of promotion. When you focus on building content instead of offering 40% off, you actually get more resonance with the consumer, and you also get follow-up in terms of return sales. 9 to 5 Mac says the Cupertino company's tutorial-based approach could be thought of as an extension of the Today at Apple in-store training sessions, where the company helps people get more out of their products as a way to subtly encourage them to buy more of them. Only you get the buyers where they are, rather than waiting for them to go where you are. And there is plenty of money in it. Estimates from the research firm eMarketer show e-commerce live streaming generating $480 billion in sales in China in 2022. The piece says that figure is expected to grow by 30% in 2023. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, BetterHelp, online therapy. You may want to live a more peaceful life, a more balanced life. But do you know how to get there? Therapy may offer help, and for that, there's BetterHelp. A therapist won't fix everything. They won't even tell you how to fix everything. No, a good therapist will help you find the way to where you want to go, how you want to be. BetterHelp makes finding a therapist easy because they do the finding. You fill out a brief questionnaire, and BetterHelp works to match you with the right licensed therapist. And if they end up not being the right one for you, you can switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. As for going to therapy, you don't have to go anywhere. The whole thing happens online. If you've got a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer, you've got access. That online component has always been key for me. If you're looking to get to a better place in your life, let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp.com/macOSKen. A sort of surprising event on Wednesday. Apple TV Plus issued a press release on Thursday saying that the cast of Season 2 of the Cupertino streamer's offbeat comedy series, The Afterparty, had gathered for a premiere. That's ahead of the Season 2 streaming premiere on the 12th of July. That Apple would want such an event is not surprising. They've been hosting premieres like that since before Apple TV Plus actually started streaming, if memory serves. But I thought events like this were kind of on ice for the time being, thanks to the ongoing writer's strike and the impending strike by actors. Yeah, I guess not. Cast members including Tiffany Haddish, Sam Richardson, Zoe Chow, John Cho, Paul Walter Hauser, Ken Jeong, and others gathered at Westwood's Regency Bruin Theater in Los Angeles for the celebration. In case you missed it, Season 1 centered on a murder that took place during a high school reunion after party. In Season 2, the release says, a wedding is ruined when the groom is murdered and every guest is a suspect. Detective Danner returns to help Anik and Zoe solve whodunit by questioning family members, star-crossed lovers, and business partners, and hearing each suspect's retelling of the weekend, each with their own unique perspective and visual style. 10 episodes in Season 2. The first 2 hit Apple TV Plus on Wednesday, the 12th of July. They'll follow one per week on subsequent Wednesdays through the 6th of September. The third season of The Morning Show has gotten a first look and a release date. I gotta say I'm not a fan of the way the term first look is used in Hollywood. No trailer and only 2 pictures, one of returning star Jennifer Aniston and another of returning star Reese Witherspoon. That and a vague description of things to come. According to the Associated Press release, this season the future of the network is thrown into question and loyalties are pushed to the brink when a tech titan takes an interest in UBA. Unexpected alliances form, private truths are weaponized, and everyone is forced to confront their core values both in and out of the newsroom. New stars John Hamm and Nicole Beharie join the slate of returning stars that includes Aniston, Witherspoon, Juliana Margulies, Billy Crudup, Mark Duplass, Nestor Carbonell, and many more. Season 3 of The Morning Show starts its 10-episode run on Wednesday, the 13th of September. And finally today, the iPhone that nobody wanted initially could command the highest price today. When iPhone was first released 16 years ago yesterday, it came in 2 storage configurations, a decidedly small-sounding 8 gigabytes and a comically tiny-sounding 4 gigabytes. Even then, 4 gigabytes sounded like it would be too little. I didn't get my iPhone on the first day. I missed that Friday, and then they were sold out. I go back to the Apple Store every day or so. The first couple of times they had them available, they only had the 4 gigabyte, and I waited more time because that is how much nobody wanted the 4 gigabyte model. Flash forward 16 years and 1 day, and Mac Rumors has one of the phones nobody wanted, potentially selling for a stupid amount of money. According to the site, LCG Auctions has a still sealed, never been opened, original 2007 iPhone hitting the block. The auction house expects it to sell for as much as $100,000, which sounds crazy. The highest I remember hearing one of these go for so far was $63,000. What makes this one special? According to the report, the others that have sold at auction over the last several months were the 8GB model. Mac Rumor says this is the first 4GB version to go up for bids. While I knew nobody wanted it, I didn't remember how little time people actually had to get it. Mac Rumor says Apple actually stopped offering the smaller capacity a few months after it came out. The company then made the 8GB the small fry and set a new high-end with a 16GB version. Because the 4GB original iPhone was only available for a limited amount of time, the site says it is the rarest of the first-generation iPhone models. Leaning into that rarity, LCG Auction says, based upon our recent record-setting sales and the fact that the 4GB model is probably 20 times rarer than the 8GB version, we would not be surprised if it establishes a new record sale price. Now, if that's too rich for your blood, the piece says the same auction house is selling an original 8GB iPhone and an original 16GB iPhone, both still mint in box. All the auctions start today, Friday, the 30th of June. They run through Sunday, the 16th of July. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Issue. Get 50% off an annual premium account with code macOSKen at issuu.com/podcast. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.